Neurodive Corner, your spot for all things neurodivergent and the amazing people that care for them. Um, so yeah, at first, as always, thanks to all of the subscribers in the channel. Remember to do all of the good things. Hit the like, subscribe, comment, so our community can continue to grow and can continue to thrive. And now more than ever, hopefully, be able to build share resources, and just kind of like hold each other. Um, I I actually life is just life is funny sometimes in the way it works. Um, yeah, I wasn't even gonna get in here today. I really wasn't. And when I decided that I was gonna, because again, some of you have been asking for more content, a little bit more continuity, a little bit more routine, which, as a neurodivergent person myself, is a little bit difficult. Consistency is one of the things that I can struggle with sometimes. In routines can be, oh God, my throat's killing me today. But yeah, it's difficult for me sometimes to get into routines and that type of that type of deal. So it's usually one of the reasons why I don't have a fixed schedule. Give me a second, guys. There you go. I'm so sorry. I'm 45, and sometimes I like to think that I still have 20/20 vision, which is hilarious because I do and I don't. But anyway, I digress. So, like I was saying, I've been trying to get better at being a little bit more consistent with the content and giving more lives, because a lot of you have been asking for that. And, it's again, when you're neurodivergent, like in my case, my attention deficit disorder, sometimes uh, it's difficult for me to get on a set schedule and that type of thing. And today I was like super proud of me because hello, you definitely get tons of points for creativity, for your name, for your handle. Thank you for joining the live and being one of our top fans tonight. Uh, I am tempted to pronounce the name just because you know what, I'm gonna pronounce it, and it is what it is. So at Cagate Paral 7056, welcome to the Neurodive Corner, and thank you for making me laugh. You might not even know why uh, your handle is funny. And if you do, let me know in the chat. Because honestly, it's super cool, super creative. So anyway, so I was gonna talk about imposter syndrome today, and I was coming in here super proud because I had a planned video. I had sort of like a little bit of a script going, references, because if you guys have noticed, the videos have gotten a little bit more longer and a little bit more worked. They are never, this is not, I am actually trying to build a community. This is not about monetizing, this is not about becoming an influencer. I am actually, I relocated to North Carolina we're going on 4 years now, I think. And I genuinely want to build community. I genuinely want to start not only keeping the channel the way we have it, and this is where I started it. I started this in the middle of the flu apocalypse as something to leave behind for my niece and my nephew. It was sort of like a video diary, and a lot of people started like, "Hey, I'm jumping on your lives. Can you share it on Facebook? Can you share it on whatever?" So I am genuinely trying to build community. I am not trying to get famous. I'm not trying to go viral. I'm not trying to become an influencer or none of that. I am just someone try somewhere out in the world trying to connect with other people in the world, and especially in the North Carolina area because that's where I'm living now. Those of you that have followed the channel for a little bit know that I'm a little bit of a gypsy, and I've lived kind of like all over the place, but we're in North Carolina at the moment. I don't know for how long, the way things are going. And I think that's, sorry if I'm a little fidgety, you guys. It's I've been struggling with my anxiety lately and whatnot. But yeah, I was gonna talk about imposter syndrome just because it's something that not a lot of people talk about, and a lot of people might struggle with. A lot of people do not look at that as a neurodivergence. So obviously, for some people, it just doesn't register. Um, and there is so much going on. And I know if you guys, I'm sorry, if you guys hear uh, the TV on the background, I'm at home, there's company, the TV's going. Um, and I wish it wasn't going, honestly, because if you guys have been following anything today, and I just got home from work, and haven't been following much of anything. Spidey, thank you for joining the live. Thank you for being one of our top fans. Guys, remember, do all the awesome things that you know what to do. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the bell, comment. It keeps the community alive, going, and growing. So anyway, so I was going to talk about imposter syndrome, and I'm just seeing everything that is happening, and I'm like, I think I'm just going to talk about imposters, period, not the syndrome. And I say that because we are living collective trauma in real time. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't even know how to process or even begin to keep up with it. It's too much. And I'm a professional. I've been doing, I've been in health and human services since 2002. Very long time. And I am finding myself having a hard time giving people hope, giving people um, coping mechanisms, coping skills, um, you name it. And just today, to keep hearing what what is happening over there, and you guys know what I mean when I say over there. Not only the service members that we lost, that we're not even getting that story straight, but it's the immediate impact that this is having and how quickly it's ramping up just because there's some people that have religious psychosis and got mixed up with billionaires that just want to extract and oppress as much as possible, and in combination with malignant narcissistic leaders, world leaders. And we find ourselves in literally like living collective trauma being broadcasted in real time. And especially if you're like me, if you're 40 and over, I'm 45 years old. But if you're 40 and older, this is a lot. This is a lot for us. Is incredibly overstimulating, and that might be the reason why there's so many Gen Xers and boomers that take refuge in the Fox News of the world, because it still moves at the pace and flow that we were used to, where the news cycle was very immediate, it was very communal, it was what was happening. You only had it twice in a day, then we went to 24/7 news, and it got a little bit out of control. But even then there was always a pace and a flow to it. Not like today, not like these days where we're even questioning reality. You have artificial intelligence throwing things out there into the ether, and we can't even agree on a shared reality anymore. That is incredibly devastating. And if you grew up like me, where you had the ability of sort of like disconnect, or you had to wait it until the morning to find out if we, in fact, got into a conflict with another country, and there was a degree of separation, I guess is what I'm trying to convey, fr- fr- from the traumatic event to the reaction. And now, because we have these tools, we no longer have that cushion. Not even if you are like my parents and all you really follow in terms of like news is legacy media. If you're like me and you are up in here in independent media, and sort of like your real reporters like Reuters, like Associated Press, um, you know that it's like honestly, every time a tab, I've been avoiding this at work. I've been like opening tabs that are preset to open to my work only, and nothing that opens to a default browser of any kind that throws me into any headlines. Because, again, what are we doing? And I think right now, um, the hubris of the orange clown in the White House, and this is what happens, everybody's always scared of the bully until somebody stands up to the bully. See, the problem is, um, the orange clown is a malignant narcissist. So much so that he even has a hard time masking real human emotion. And that has been proven in his most recent rally, where somebody had a medical emergency, like a life threatening medical emergency. And because he's so, um, his antisocial, his narcissism is such, and then on top of that, he doesn't really know how to act like with empathy, all that came to his mind was to play Ave Maria, the song, while this person is in medical distress. So this is a world leader um, that decided to toss intelligence reports to the wind, and these are not only his immediate reports, and throw them to the wind, and got us into this conflict with Iran with no without illegally, without asking Congress, without a real reason, and no plan, no strategy, other than we're gonna hit them hard, we're gonna hit them strong, because they Jesus Christ, they speak like their expansive vocabulary is that of a 5 year old at its best. And people are not realizing this is not going to be short term. There is a reason why nobody ever fucked with Iran. And the United States has always been cocky because we know we have the mightiest military. We have weapons and capabilities that people can't even begin to fathom. Like, trust me. Um, I come from a family that has a lot of military in it, and I don't know shit. I'll promise you that, and I can tell you that we are the mightiest military. But might doesn't always win the fight. You can be mighty, and it'll get you somewhere, but you that's not sustainable long term. You can't be mighty and stupid. You have to be mighty and intelligent. And the problem we're having right now is that people are not realizing that just because you're the bully with the big stick, y- you don't start shit without a plan. And that's exactly what our leader has done at the behest of Bibi over there, with a country that every other administration knew not to fuck with. Think about it. They didn't even have a nuclear weapon. They agreed during the Obama administration to a nuclear plan. This is how confident Iran is on standing on business, because most countries that could have nuclear capabilities have chosen to do so. It is a deterrent, period. Now, that's the message that the United States just sent out with this conflict, is the fact that unless you have nuclear capabilities, we're going to come and bully you. The other thing is, what happens when the school turns on the bully? What happens when the whole schoolyard turns on the bully, which is happening in real time, and we are being traumatized in real time? Not only is Spain not allowing the use of the bases, most of the allies are being clear that they are not touching this with a 10-foot pole. And now we have the Ayatollah's son, who we know from reports not only lost his father, the Ayatollah Khomeini, Khomeini, he also lost his daughter and his wife in the attack, in the little play that we just did. We just attacked another school today. This man is not only mourning, he is way more radical than his father ever was. We really need to prepare. We need to be ready. The Strait of Hormuz that everybody's talking about today, that is incredibly important, people. Gas prices are through the roof, over $5 in some places. This is not only going to affect, it's not only about the oil and gas prices. We are about to start spring season and planting season. The calendar could care less about politics, foreign policy, war times, or anything else. Farmers have to get out there and plant very soon. About 70% of the fertilizer that gets produced in the world, because we do not produce enough organic fertilizer to sustain food systems. We have to make fertilizer. Most of the fertilizer comes through the Strait of Hormuz. So that means that farmers right now are seeing their fertilizer prices have risen 77%. This is going to mess up with the crops, which in turn is going to mess with food availability. Again, the calendar does not wait. The calendar does not know about conflicts. So those are the things that we need to have in mind when we, as a country, want to be so cocky and so quick to be calling other countries third world countries. And every single time that we have fucked with one of these third world countries, they have managed to make us look like you guys know what. So I can't keep cursing because then YouTube gets finicky. But you people need to understand that. Fertilizer can be stockpiled because it blows up. If you know, you know. So we are going to be going through crisis for months to come. And people need to start understanding how to make room, how to metabolize trauma, how to deal with collective trauma, and how to start building communities within your neighborhoods so that you can assist each other as things start getting more and more hairy and more difficult. Trust and believe. This is not going to get any better anytime soon. This is going to get pretty bad. And remember, this is a war that can escalate very quickly because some people will, some of these religious fanatics think that they are actually hasting the second coming of Jesus. This is the type of people that you're dealing with. Okay? I need everybody to understand that. We're dealing with a lot of different pathologies, if you will. There's a lot of like mentally ill people driving the car, and they are not taking their medications. That's how I feel today. Thank you for sticking with me for 24 minutes today. I'm so sorry. I promise I'm going to go back to the shorter version of the videos. But as always, stay safe, stay healthy, and lift each other. That's the way we make a better world. Bye.